earlier this week we had, of course, the memorial for His Royal Highness the Duke of Edinburgh, the late Prince Philip. And of course it was a spectacular event at Westminster Abbey. Lots of senior royals there, including international royals too. And as you can imagine, if you're a news channel, you would have been able to plan this well in advance, up to a year if you think about it. So why did one channel seemingly get it so wrong? Or in this particular climate, as we often say, was it truly fake news? Hi, good morning, Neil Sean here in the very heart of London. Thank you for joining me today. Nice to see you all. And yeah, a beautiful London red bus behind me. That's how I travel around London, by the way. A lot of people seem to think that I have this glamorous, glitzy life, possibly in and out of black cabs. Not with these prices, not anymore, not after the climate change and all that sort of stuff has shoved petrol up, as we know, and now, well, basically, can anybody afford to go by cab? Even Uber's got more expensive over here in the United Kingdom. Let me know what it's like in your part of the world. I'd love to know. London buses and tubes for me are the best when they're not on strike, and of course you get to see if you sit up on the top and pretend to be the driver like we all used to do. Do you remember? You sit at the front and pretend you're driving the bus and look out on this wonderful architecture on all the bright things that London has to offer. Back though to your breaking news story of the day. This particular story, as I say, caught my eye because, as you know, these news channels were covering that particular event in great detail. And as I say, they had all their royal reporters out there, all busy looking at their scripts, trying to work out exactly what to say. But then one news channel made an almighty gaffe. As you can see here, they decided to bill the event as the Prince William Memorial. No wonder Catherine looks so worried all the time. Can you imagine? She sits there, looks at a monitor and sees, bang, Prince William Memorial. Yes, that's right. But how true was that particular mistake? Well, as ever, we delved in deeper, and this particular channel is Sky News. Now, there's 2 points to really look at there. Sky News itself is not particularly royalist. Well, the people who are running Sky News, at least, aren't particularly royalist. I should know. I've been there, and I worked for them. But more importantly, was it a gaffe intentionally or unintentionally? Well, a very good source tells me this particular story. The real reason why is, of course, yes, they did have a name strap made, and obviously they put up the wrong name strap. Was it a young person doing that? I've been told no, a rather experienced graphics operator. But more importantly, by getting this wrong, they've received exactly what they really need right now, which is much needed publicity. And the bottom line is this: there are so many now news channels around the world. In fact, we had a new one open over here in the United Kingdom just under a year ago now, GB News, which is really denting the figures of Sky News. So much so, there are points when there's literally zero audience for Sky News. Hard to imagine, isn't it? So a good point was raised to me that, well, perhaps by putting this on and, hopefully getting in the media, online, all digital, and us talking about it, then it reminds people that Sky News still exists. As ever, though, at the expense of our wonderful monarchy. And as I say, on a non-joking side, can you imagine looking down at the monitors in the Abbey, which were, of course, connected so that you could see how it was panning out outside, and you see that? Not at all welcoming, as I'm sure you will agree. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.